Now, we're very excited to have a couple of guys from the States on the line with us even as we speak. KB3 or Killer B3 is a documentary about the Hammond B3 organ that puts you in front, behind and inside this cumbersome keyboard. Often, as you mentioned just now, Pete, it's called The Beast. This is a feature-length documentary. It's from producer, director, writer Merv Seymour and director of photography and editor Joe Bamford. And today I've got them on the line. They're live, actually live. They're alive in Florida even as we speak. Welcome to the program, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for having us, Georgie. Hey, Georgie. Hey, Peter. Yes, we are breathing. We are alive. We don't need to be resuscitated. I like the way you put emphasis on that.
We'll send you a pump if you need to be pumped up.
We might need an organ transplant.
We don't want to go there either.
Hey, one of our groups here is Clayton Dolly and the Organ Donors. We could always go and ask him for an organ or two, couldn't we? There you go.
He continually carries a pump with him. It's a bicycle pump.
Stop it. My first question is to you, Joe. When and how did you meet Merv?
Merv and I worked together in the mid-'90s here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida at the NBC affiliate. And Merv is a reporter, or was a reporter at the time, and I was a photojournalist. And we worked together a lot covering stories that affected people in our community. And we formed a great friendship and a great bond, and we somehow clicked and started telling great stories together.
And what inspired you to take on this project, the Killer B3 project, and how did you come up with the idea?
We had always talked about taking our skills to another level and working on a documentary film. That's where our heart really is.
Yeah.
And one day Merv came to me and he says, you know, I went and saw my friend Sean Brown. He's an incredible musician. He's this organist, and he's playing this thing called the B3, man. Have you seen it? And I knew what a B3 was, but I didn't really know what it was. And he showed me this little video that he had taken with a little point-and-shoot camera. And to watch this guy manipulate this keyboard with all four limbs and make it talk was probably one of the coolest things I had ever seen. And from that moment on, we said, this is our documentary. We have to do a documentary about this.
And how did you go about finding the musicians that you've got featured on the documentary?
We just started asking around. We asked our friend Sean, the organist, you know, who are the people to go to? Who makes this instrument what it is? And of course, you know, one of the first persons he named was Jimmy Smith. And unfortunately, Jimmy passed right as we were in the production planning stages of this documentary. But it taught us a very early lesson, and that was that this was a dying art. And the musicians who made this instrument what it is, some of them were slipping away, and we felt that it was almost our moral obligation, being lovers of music, to document these fantastic players.
And what are some of the most exciting things that you've discovered while making this documentary?
Well, we certainly discovered how to make a documentary, which is really exciting. And there are a multitude of moments and things that happened in front of us. We spent some time with Dr. Lonnie Smith at his home in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Dr. Lonnie was so gracious and welcoming, and he walked us into his home, and he said, "Here, come take a look at this," and he took us into his bedroom, and he said, "Look at this. This is my organ." He said, "You know, actually, I can levitate from my bed to that organ, and when I get an idea in the middle of the night, I just get up and I start playing." And we got to see some of these incredibly magical moments that a lot of people really didn't get to see. And and I'll tell you real quick another amazing story. We were doing an interview with the late Trudy Pitts at the Clef Club in Philadelphia, and right after the interview, her husband says to us, "Hey, I got Jimmy Smith's old organ over here. We just saved it." And sure enough, he walks us in, cameras rolling, to a back room where there is an old dusty Hammond organ, and it had just been left out by the curb from someone that purchased a home that belonged to Jimmy Smith.
Oh, my God.
Away.
Oh, my God. So you were in the right place at the right time, obviously.
Yes, we were.
You've spent 7 years on this project to date, which so far has been financed with your own money. I bet you never expected it was going to take this long.
We didn't. Merv and I say to each other, who says, "Hey, let's do a project for 7 years"? Who does that? It's quite a commitment. But I will tell you, we didn't expect it to take this long, but we also wanted it to be a truly independent documentary, and that means that we had to do it by ourselves and fund it by ourselves, and that sort of forces you to take a little bit more time when you're working full-time job and making ends meet, and then trying to fund your passion project on the side.
Indeed. And there's been quite a lot of interest, I hear, in showing the KB3 documentary from film festivals around the world. So what's now stopping you from getting the documentary shown on those festivals?
It's just a matter of taking care of the rights and making sure that we have a lot of archive films and historical footage in the documentary, some of which is from some Hollywood studios like Warner Brothers. We have some really amazing old Jimmy Smith archive footage, a lot of historical jazz photos, and of course, music rights. And all of those, to be able to use those for a documentary, are costing quite a pretty penny. And so the film is pretty much ready to go, and we're just on hold until we can figure out how to pay for all of that.
Well, I noticed that one of the initiatives you've taken is to get some extra assistance is through the Kickstarter program, which is a platform for people to raise funds to complete their projects. Tell us what's happening with the Kickstarter program and the Killer B3 project.
Well, we are very, very excited to say that we're halfway through our Kickstarter campaign, and we are halfway to our goal, which is very exciting for us. So we're still making a really big push to all the music lovers that we can find, and trying to tell them about this documentary, and trying to get them to say, I think that I'd like to help you get this documentary released. So we're just pushing Kickstarter as hard as we can through our social networks, and we're hoping for the best.
We wanted to let our listeners know, because I stumbled across it. Tony Monaco sent me a link to it a couple of weeks ago, Joe.
Tony, we love Tony.
Now, to find out more about this fundraiser, all you have to do is go to Kickstarter.com and type in Hammond for Hammond B3. It'll take you to their site where you can watch the trailer and donate to the project if you choose. Now, if you've just tuned in, I'm talking with the two guys who created Killer B3, the documentary about the Hammond B3 organ, which they're currently completing in the States, as you just heard Joe say. Joe Bamford and Merv Seymour began making this documentary 7 years ago using their own money, and they're in the final stages of completing the film, and they need help to get it to the world, so they need to pay for rights and for festival entry and all that sort of stuff. Check out their website, which is the W's killerb3.com, and you can view the trailer there, or you can go to Kickstarter.com and see their campaign, which is under Hammond. Just type in Hammond and you'll find it there. Merv, if you're on the phone at the moment too, what else have you been doing to raise funds for the KB3 project?
Well, we've had to get creative in terms of how we've done it. We started doing some Hammond B3-based concerts with Sean Brown and some other local musicians, and we've done two of those so far. They've been really successful. It's a great way for us to show people what the Hammond instrument is and what it sounds like, and to feel the passion that we feel from being a part of this whole thing. And so we've had a lot of great success with that. So we've been doing that, and we've also been selling T-shirts. We designed a T-shirt that features one of the players, who's featured in the film, and it's kind of an anonymous kind of an image, but it's a great image, and we've had a lot of great success with people supporting us through purchasing the T-shirt. And we also have other different little things. We have download cards that we've offered from one of the performances and things like that. So we're trying to offer things that can connect people to the instrument. I mean, it's not just about, quote, getting the cash or whatever.
Yeah.
We really want to provide something that can connect people with the instrument, because that's what this whole project is really all about.
And I went onto your blog site, and I noticed that you run a little competition where people got a Killer B3 postcard, and they took it to different parts of the world and took a photograph, and won. There's somebody who won the competition with the postcard in the dog's mouth, which I think was so cute. But some of those are just great, and the monkey one, I think the monkey one won as well, didn't it? That was really crazy.
Oh, it was. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I think Joe and I were just sitting around joking. I think we were at a Chinese restaurant up here in Tampa area, and we just like were playing around with the postcard and stuck it, amongst the food and whatever. Oh, we should have a contest when people could post a picture, this and that, whatever. And so we just put it out there, and people just kind of ran with it. And Sherry Talley, who is up in Shreveport, we just kind of, whoever voted the most likes on the picture would win it.
Yes.
But we got some really, really cool stuff. We got stuff from all parts of the world. I mean, we find out through Facebook, and Facebook is great with this. They tell us that we have, likes in, 9-10 different countries across the world, and people that do like us speak, a dozen different languages. And so we had all these incredible images from all these cool places, the Space Needle in Seattle. Sherry had the one with her dog. And so we had a lot of fun with that, and that was just a great way to get people involved with the project.
And have you had any people from Australia besides ourselves?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if we have. I mean, it's interesting.
Well, we're going to have to redress that issue, I think, Merv.
Well, I know, Georgia. I think you might have dibs on being the first person to make a pledge through our project, and we can't say enough about just how happy we are that you were able to help us out and help push us in the right direction. So I think you have number one dibs in that area.
I think Ev Wilson was the first. She's a friend of ours who listens to this program. She donated first, and then I jumped on board and donated. I said, you can't donate without me donating. So
how dare she try to upstage you?
How many supporters from around the world have contacted you, like personally, that you've never met before?
Well, I'll tell you, we've got roughly, we're approaching 700 likes on Facebook, and we really just started the Facebook thing earlier this year.
Yeah.
We've had over 35,000 hits on our YouTube channel. That's just putting videos up, and we get people from all over the world with that. And then periodically, I think one of the more interesting things, we got a guy from Israel purchased a shirt from us, and Joe and I just kind of looked at each other and just thought about the concept of somebody in Israel walking around with a Killer B3 shirt on. And we even have Chuck Berry, the legendary Chuck Berry. One of his band members had a Killer B3 T-shirt on doing a performance last week in Cleveland.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's interesting how you kind of get it out there, things start getting spread around, yeah. And so I mean, we really have had fans from every corner of the world, contact us and tell us a little bit about their connection with the Hammond, and people love sharing. Why they love this instrument. And so we've had a lot of great success with, people coming in from all over the world. Well,
we're going to help you out. We're going to help you out next week with a competition. But first, once you've got this program through and you've raised the funds you need, what will happen next? What's the next thing that you have to do?
Well, the big thing is, we have roughly 13 days to raise around. I think we're at $5,200 now. We're trying to get $10,000. Handles the basics of paying for the rights for various video clips we need. So once we raise that, we're very confident we're going to raise that because we have a very good base and it's growing. The first thing we do is we call Warner Brothers and say, hey, we have what you need for these clips. Uh-huh. We pay for those clips. We contact the Chicago Historical Society and pay for the half dozen or so photos that are integral to getting this project done. And we handle that first. And so then what's left goes towards putting together the packages for the various pledges because, in Kickstarter, it's not just about you, quote, giving to us. We don't even like to use the word giving. We think of it as a pledge. Yep. If you pledge $10, we're going to give you a postcard. If you pledge $20 to $25, we're going to give you a T-shirt, and we're going to give you a DVD and a T-shirt, if you pledge $50 and so on. Yep. So you're getting, some great rewards, by making a pledge towards, helping us get this project done. So, but the first thing is we handle all the music stuff. And then everything else that's left, which probably won't be much if we get in, right at 10, we'll deal with marketing and hopefully, we'll have a little left to do some traveling to some of the different venues that we enter the film in.
And, of course, travelling to Australia for the red carpet event here when you do the premiere in Sydney, of course. Yeah.
I mean, we have claimed it. We see it. We visualize it. It's going to happen. Our friend Mike Walter, filmmaker, he had the pleasure of debuting internationally in Sydney. I'm not sure what the event was, but we certainly know that there's a great market over there, and with your support and Peter's support, we have every intention of walking that red carpet with muddy feet and all, and we can't wait.
Just make sure you bring Tony Monaco with you, because the last time he came here, he stirred up a real interest.
Well,
just
I'll
an
tell
amazing
you,
player.
Tony has been so integral to us. He was really one of the first people that really got the ball rolling, because he was the first real superstar of national, level that really, got behind us. And once he got involved, it kind of got the other artists involved. And we have every intention of, doing something on the international level. So we would love to bring Tony over there. I mean, maybe even bring, Dr. Lonnie or whoever. So if there's a way for it to happen, we're going to make it happen. But Tony, it'd be phenomenal to have Tony back over there, especially knowing that he's like the first guy you guys got to see too.
That would be exciting. Now, for my listeners, next week we're going to help get the word out about the KB3 documentary. We're running a guessing competition here on Soulscope where our listeners can win one of the the B3 T-shirts. It's shown on the KB3 website. Plus, we'll have some audio download cards containing 4 of the songs from a recent KB3 fundraiser concert you did, and that'll enable them to redeem those tracks for free online. So I think that's a great prize. All you have to do if you'd like to enter the competition is go to the Killer B3 trailer, which is on the Kickstarter website. That's Kickstarter.com. Type in Hammond, and that'll take you to their project, and then watch the trailer. Watch it very carefully. I'm going to tell you what the question is. I'm going to ask the question right now, and you have to watch the trailer to figure out what the answer is. Here's the question. What is the Hammond organ and the Leslie speaker? What is the Hammond organ and the Leslie speaker? Now, in the trailer, one of the artists actually tells you the answer, so you'll have to watch carefully. Oh, here's the question again. What is the Hammond organ and the Leslie speaker? Next week on the show, we will be asking the question again. You can ring us up next week, and we'll put your name in the draw, and whoever gets the first correct answer will win the T-shirt, and the first correct answer will win the T-shirt and the audio card. In fact, depending on how many T-shirts and audio cards we get, we might have 3 or 4, Pete. What do you think?
Are you saying that we're going to twist their arm, Georgie?
Yes, we're going to twist their arms.
We're going to rip their arms off.
Can Joe and I call in with an answer? Is that off? Is that not good?
I don't think that's going to work somehow. No. Anyway, look. For the listeners who are listening today, what is the Hammond organ and the Leslie speaker? If you need to find out, go to either killerb3.com and watch the trailer there, or go to kickstarter.com, type in Hammond, and you'll also find out all about the project there. It's absolutely great. There's some really interesting film clips there. There's a really interesting anecdotes and stories and stuff all about what they're doing, and I think it's great.
It's a great trailer. I mean, it's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
We had to watch it several times. It was just incredible.
We had to watch it several times to figure out what the answer to the question was, Pete.
Yeah, well, that's normal for us.
Well, you know what? When Joe mentioned to me what the question was going to be, I was like, it's a big old box or something. I don't know what So yeah, it's you do have to listen to it.
You have to watch.
We feel fortunate to have been up close to these great artists, and it's so passionate, and it's certainly made us passionate. And I think you guys share the same blend, because you support great music, and it's just exciting to be a part of something like this. So we thank you so much for having us, on the air. Is it morning there? I don't know what time
it's 10 minutes to 3 in the afternoon, so it's not too bad. And you're hitting midnight in a few minutes, so you better go to bed soon, I'd say.
Oh no, we're wide awake.
I was going to say it's cocktail hour.
We still have work to do.
Cocktail hour.
Cocktail hour over in Florida at the moment.
Cocktail hour.
Hey, Joe, Merv, thank you so much for being available to talk to us today. Really, really, really happy that you were able to get online, and we're excited about this project, and we wish you all the best with getting it around to the world. And next week, look out, that competition is going to be run on the radio right here.
Thank you, Georgie, Peter. You guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. I love the music. We love the music you're playing, and we love what you're doing for the Hammond organ, and thank you for all your support.
Thanks a lot, Georgie and Peter. We really appreciate it.
Ciao, guys.